rise and fall of Kai Cenat, once the most subscribed streamer in the world, is brutal. For the donuts that don't know, Kai Cenat is arguably the most famous streamer in the world. This man has broke many records when it comes to streaming and is also probably filthy rich. The filthiest of riches when it comes to streaming. I wouldn't be surprised if this man's toilet just spits out 20 bill notes. And alongside this, he was also one of the most beloved streamers. Like, everybody seemed to like this man until overnight everything changed, as Kai Cenat would actually quit streaming with no warning, just silence. And this left everybody wondering, why is this man quit when he seems to be at the peak of his powers, when he is the most subscribed streamer in the world? What is the reason for him walking away? Was it the burnout? Was it pressure? Was it the drama surrounding him? Or something deeper? Well, in this video, Donuts, we're going to talk about all of that. We're going to talk about Kai Cenat's rise to fame, how at the peak of his powers, celebrities were literally on their knees to come on his stream so they could promote whatever they needed to promote. This guy seemed to control everyone's marketing budget. But just as quick as Kai was rising to fame, his drop-off was almost quicker. And trust me, it's probably not for the standard reason you think, like many other influencers. But before we do get onto that, I just want to talk about the early upbringing of Kai Cenat. He didn't grow up with a lot of money. I believe that he lived with his mother, and he's even admitted on stream that him and his mother would sometimes have to go to homeless shelter. Kai has actually said that he has the homeless sheets in his New York apartment still. I don't know if that's like a reminder of when, you know, he was going through a tough time, but he seems to have kept them when he's became famous. Now, a lot of people said when Kai was younger, his personality definitely shone through. As you can see, if you've ever seen a clip of his stream, he's very loud, he's very brash, like the man very much controls the energy of the room. And apparently this was his exact personality when he was in school, which shows that when he's become a streamer, he's been authentic to himself, which definitely does get questioned as we go on with this video. But many people around him when he was younger said that they knew that he would do something different, like they knew he would be famous, they just didn't know for what reason why. Apparently he had like no shame when he was a kid, like he would do things without being embarrassed, which definitely helps when starting like being a creator. I know myself, you get the taken out of you when you first start, so if you don't really have any guilt or any shame, that's not going to be an issue for you like it was for me. Now, when Kai would actually start making content, he would actually be on YouTube, he would do pranks and skits, kind of the standard things that many influencers and creators do when they start, kind of drawing things from your personal life and making kind of relatable videos, and also pranks. I must say though, I have never done pranks. Like, that is one piece of content I just have never understood how it is big. Like going into a supermarket and just people off and calling it a prank. Is that really the definition? I don't know. Now, apparently when Kai started this content, the growth was slow. He was only getting like 100 views per video. Like, it wasn't like an instant success like many people said it was. But as he kept going with it, I definitely think that his charisma shone through from the clips that I've seen of his early videos. And this helped him get recognized by a group called AMP, and specifically a creator that was from the same area as him called Phantom. Now, Phantom would reach out to Kai Cenat and ask him to be in AMP's videos. For people that don't know who AMP are, they're like a YouTube group, so this automatically give Kai like a platform to show everybody how good, you know, how charismatic he is and show what he can bring to the table. Sometimes when people are starting, all they need is a chance from someone bigger to really showcase how good they are, and they can like use this as a springboard to, you know, elevate themselves. And this is definitely what Kai seemed to do, as his personality almost dwarfed everybody else in the group. I know there is loads of good personalities in AMP, but with Kai being so loud and kind of controlling the whole energy of a room, like with his personality, I definitely think that he stood out a lot. And because Kai was able to build his own audience off AMP, he actually decided to make the most important switch in his career, in my opinion, over to Twitch and start live streaming. Now, Kai would actually take the streaming world by storm. Like, this is how I first found out about him. It wasn't through like finding him on Twitch though. He was definitely one of the first people to make use of clippers, which are basically people that take your streams and clip them up on TikTok, Instagram, whatever, just getting your name out there. You probably get this on your For You page, like clips of streamers or creators that you don't really care about or have no intention of watching, but you automatically know who they are because people have clipped them up and they're on your For You page. And I know I'm getting really techie and nerdy here, but it's almost like if you're in sales and you have to cold call people, it's a lot harder to kind of get that sale because the person on the other end of the phone doesn't know you, they don't trust you. However, when you have like a warm call, like a warm lead, people already know who you are, so they're more inclined to kind of find out more about you. And this is definitely definitely how it works with the world of clipping. If you see a creator a couple of times and, you know, they have some funny clips, you're more inclined to go and watch their full stream. However, you didn't sign up for this, you know? Like, this has just been on your For You page. Anyway, getting too nerdy here, but I just want to give you some insight into how Kai was able to grow to be, you know, huge, as he would use this as like momentum to, you know, keep building and building and building. And you can tell he definitely reinvested all of his money into his content when he was in this stage, to hire more people to clip for him, more people to work for him, build these sets, and really kind of elevate his brand as a whole. And this led to Kai reaching his peak, which in my opinion is when he started the Mafiaon series on Twitch. Now, this is basically a 30-day streak of streaming from Kai that he does for his audience, and you'll often get like really big guests in. There's like a dedicated set for it. It's like a big event, like a big thing that his audience can kind of get excited by. And trust me, like, the only reason I know about these before recording this video was because they were all over my For You page. Bearing in mind, I have never watched a Kai Cenat stream before, but again, that just shows the power of, you know, promoting yourself on other platforms. Now, this led to Kai being the most subscribed Twitch streamer ever at this point, I believe, which is absolutely mental. This all happened in February 2023, and I believe he had around 300,000 subscribers, which, bearing in mind on Twitch, like, you have to pay to subscribe and the creator gets that money. Now, bearing in mind a tier 1 sub, I believe, is $4.99. So Kai has 306,000 of those. You know, show me the money, baby. There we go. In the back pocket. New Louis Vuitton bag on the way. Thank you. I believe the previous record before Kai smashed it was from a creator called Ludwig, who had 283,000. So he basically smashed it. And during this first Mafiathon, he would also have like 100,000 concurrent viewers, so people watching live at one time, which, by the way, is absolutely mental as well. I know on YouTube getting 100,000 views is, you know, pretty crazy, but to have 100,000 people watching at that time, like, that's unheard of. That is ridiculous. Now, Kai would actually make this Mafiathon a trilogy. He would do a second and third installment, and the second installment would smash the record set by him on the first installment. I believe he would get around 350,000 subscribers during this time, which obviously is a hell of a lot, but when he done Mafiathon 3, he actually got 1 million subscribers. So, like, I don't even... How rich is this guy, by the way? Bearing in mind, that's a month. Obviously, there's going to be a drop-off, but this bloke just casually made just, what, around 4 million a month just off Twitch Prime. Now, obviously, he benefited a hell of a lot by making all of this money, but one thing that this Mafiathon really did was propel him into the mainstream, and, you know, this really made celebrities kind of take notice of Kai. And celebrities, when they were kind of promoting a movie or a product or a tour, they would, in their marketing budget, they would make time to go on stream with Kai for like an hour, because they know that they're gonna get a hell of a lot more value doing that than, I guess, I don't know, just paying for a TV advert or doing some social media content. I definitely think that Kai during this time, like, showed the power of creators and streaming, and how, like, the mainstream are definitely taking note now and kind of embedding that in their own marketing practices. And when I'm talking celebrities, I'm not just talking about like reality stars, I'm talking about like A-list celebrities here. Obviously, we've got Kevin Hart here just casually dancing with Kai Cenat. Like, how do you get this? Bro, it does kind of make me laugh that when Kevin Hart was like going through, you know, his marketing scheme to promote a tour or a movie or whatever he's promoting with, you know, his own team, they're like, right, Kevin, you can, you know, you can post a couple of TikToks, you can go on TV, you can go on Jimmy Kimmel, but if you really want to make this a success, you just got to go on like this bloke stream and like dance with him for an hour. Just embarrass yourself for an hour and this guy's like leopard print carpeted bedroom. Is that okay? Yeah, there we go. Right, there you go. Another successful tour, son. Sold out. I want to get to this level. Like, who could we get in a video that would be really cool? If there is anyone famous watching this, can you DM me so that, you know, you can get you in a video? And I don't care how famous. Like, if you're in Coronation Street, that's famous to me. Okay? Just saying.
I still got the juice, bitch. Bite a
Nikki, you just tried to kick me in my face? I thought we was teammates.
Bro, is that, sorry, like, you know, Nicki Minaj, right, used to bash her songs in school. Is that how you sit on a chair on stream? You don't give a f, right? Imagine if I just started all my videos, I just talked all the way through my videos just like this. Give us a minute, I'll get there. Sexy, right? I know. Guys, stop. Okay, I know you're commenting right now. Oh my God, look at it. Stop it. I get it all the time. Don't need it off you.
Deal, Jacob, with the 100 gifted.
Yeah. 100? Why are we not going crazier for this?
No, we should be doing that! We should be doing that!
Hey, Deal.
Bro, I love how John Cena is arguably like the most, well, not even arguably, he's the most successful person and probably richest person in that room. Yet, when someone gifted 100, he was the most excited and couldn't believe it. I wonder if like Kai Cenat, because he gets so much money and these other streamers get so much money from their audience, they're just kind of, you know, numb to it. Like 100 gifted is just nothing, even though that's a hell of a lot of money. Yet John Cena's like so gobsmacked that somebody would actually donate that just for you doing this. It does show the difference between mainstream and kind of social, and how, you know, there isn't really much correlation between the two. Also, why did Kai Cenat collab with an invisible person there? Anyone know that? Sorry, there doesn't seem to be anybody here. I can't say anybody. I don't know about you. There was even this one awkward clip when he collabed with Tyler, and he basically asked her out, and I think she like rejected him on live.
So I can't do Zoe. So my only option is Tyler. Would you like to go on a date with me?
Are you asking for real?
Yeah.
Don't do that.
What you mean? Why not?
Don't do that.
I'm serious. Whenever you get some free time, would you like to go on a date with me?
You can't do that. On a whole live thing.
Why not? It's true or dare.
Yeah. But we're friends though.
You right.
Yeah, we're friends.
You right. Alright, next one.
Yeah, bastard, yeah. Oh, yeah, joking, not a chance. I don't know what I'm doing, right? Why am I doing the sand walk off June? But I definitely think these clips show that even though Kai was getting the attention from mainstream, it's still a lot of times were very, like, sometimes the people were really great, and sometimes they definitely were a little bit kind of like just standoffish of this world. But all in all, it's an achievement in itself to, you know, have these people recognize you as a creator and want to come on your show because they know it benefits them. That just shows that you're at the peak of your powers and you're insanely successful. However, like I said in the intro, this would almost change overnight for Kai. And all of his success and all of the people that built him up to this point loving him would end up turning on him. And I don't know where this kind of negative train towards Kai kind of started. We're going to have a look at a couple of things later in this video, but more and more people were kind of coming out and saying that Kai Cenat isn't as great as what people are saying he is. A lot of people were calling him fake. He even had Kanye West calling him fake.
Like that Kai sent somebody, that's some industry plant. He gonna be talking about my pants.
So he's an industry plant. He's an
of course, he's the opposite. Total. That exact genre is the most industry plants. It's about like influence and mind control. And then he gonna mention my daughter's name a week later. It's like that. Don't mention my daughter's name and then you dissing what's paying a $200,000 a month child support.
Wow.
That's the...
Now, just seeing this clip, I am actually, again, disappointed in Kanye West, but I mean, that's not a shock anymore, is it? It would be more of a shock if you said you were proud of him at this point. Just labeling Kai Cenat, like, obviously people know the power that, you know, Kanye West has in terms of people listening to him. Not anymore. Much so, I guess. But labeling Kai Cenat an industry plant, like, I think that is a really dangerous term because a lot of people throw that word around. Like, I feel like I want to make a whole video on that word. But people grow and grind for years, and then when they're at the peak of their powers, a lot of people just go, oh, they're an industry plant. There is industry plants, I do believe. But when you look, or when I've been researching Kai and you see him try and grow and grow and grow and work at it over years, and then he eventually becomes mega successful, I think it is insulting to call him an industry plant because it almost eradicates all of the hard work that he's done, especially coming from where he came from. I don't think industry plant is the correct term, but this term would stay with Kai, and a lot of people in his comment section started to call him one, and this started to kind of build momentum and a lot of hatred towards Kai. And this hatred was definitely shared by mainstream media as well, as they would break the news that Kai Cenat had actually been arrested. I believe this happened in 2024, where Kai Cenat was doing PS5 giveaways. I think he was giving away 6 PS5s, but he was doing it in public, and over 100,000 people turned up to the place he said for people to come. Obviously, I don't know if he just didn't realize like how many people would come, but he probably didn't realize 100,000 people would come. I don't think anybody could fathom that just from you saying something. Like, when you look at the clips of this is insane how many people turned up for a free PS5. To be fair, they were really hard to get. I don't know if this was longer than the queue that was at Smith's Toys Superstore when I tried to get one and failed. Them PS5s really weren't for everybody at one point. But Kai would actually get arrested for this. Apparently he was like inciting a riot or something, the police said, so they like took him into custody. And he was actually given a notice to appear in court. Now Kai actually said on stream that they apparently were throwing tear gas out there. We're not going to do anything until it's safe, everybody for themselves, because it's a war out there, man. Which obviously is very scary, and it's, you know, I don't know if you can call it as much of a failure as like a TanaCon. But why is this a theme, you know? Why do a lot of creators have like meetups and they always seem to go horrifically wrong, especially when they're huge creators? Now, although this did give Kai a lot of negative press, it did kind of help his name get out to a lot more people as well. And a lot of the time with these huge streamers, like I've said with the clipping, they kind of just want as many people to know about them as possible. So all press, even if it's bad press, is good press. But again, people would use this situation as momentum to kind of criticize Kai, and rightly so, I guess, because people did get hurt during this. And around this time, another thing that people would hate on Kai for is when he actually went to Nigeria, he met a lot of the people over there that were struggling, especially kids, and he promised on live stream that he was going to build them a school. He said he was going to give them the facilities they needed to kind of, educate themselves, because their current school, like, there was like a mattress on top of like, their desks and stuff. Like, it was really bad conditions for them to learn in. However, months after this passed, a YouTuber went to this venue that Kai said he was going to create a school at, and no progress had been made, and the internet kind of ran with this to kind of hate on Kai more and criticize him and say that he's fake, he's an industry plant, he basically only says things on live stream so that people like him, but he doesn't follow through with them. Now, I don't think Kai actually really responded to this as a whole. I think he said a couple of things, but nothing that people really took with much weight. But I do want to quickly fast forward to February 2026, because Kai has actually posted loads of photos and videos of the school that he's built for those people, which I do find really intriguing, because you haven't heard that much about that. But when he, didn't do it, you heard so much from people. And it does show that certain people just kind of want to see somebody fail, and they don't care when the person kind of corrects that failure. I do find that interesting. And on top of this, around this point, Kai was going a lot more mainstream and was collabing with a lot more like celebrities rather than streamers, which a lot of his audience liked to see from him. A lot of his audience was saying that it's almost like the Kai that they knew is gone now, and he's kind of just this famous person. And what often happens with a creator when they do go mainstream, it doesn't have to be the level of Kai Cenat, it can kind of be anything. They often do lose touch with their audience, because they kind of stop serving their audience with the content that got them to the platform that they can now be in a mainstream media for. By the way, I'm generalizing here. It isn't the case for everyone, but I have seen a correlation when people do go mainstream, that it's almost like the community aspect of their audience is kind of gone, because everybody knows about them now. Again, I'm overthinking this, and I'm just thinking of a couple of scenarios. Probably a lot of people have done it successfully, and I totally understand it from the creator's point of view, because you get loads of money and you become a hell of a lot more famous. But I definitely think that because it comes with so many great things, there has to be a few drawbacks to it, just because it's a balance, I guess. Now, as all of this hate was kind of building up and building up and building up, Kai was continuing to stream until one day he just stopped. After ending his Mafiaon 3 in September 2025, Kai just totally stopped streaming on Twitch, bearing in mind this guy was so consistent and would stream every single week. Like, he was streaming more than he wasn't streaming, so this was a huge shock for his audience, and people were wondering why. Like, people couldn't believe it. He collabs with John Cena, now we can't see him as well. Kai Cenat, more like Kai the bloody twat. Scraping the barrel with that one. It's alright, guys, right? We all have our bad ones. Now, before we see his first video back, I do want to say later in this video, we're going to have a look at some of the insane conspiracy theories that people have came up with why Kai has actually quit streaming. Genuinely, they are hilarious. But before we get to that, on January the 13th, 2026, after months of not streaming, Kai Cenat would actually return to the internet, this time on YouTube, with a video called I Quit. And this basically was him talking about why he did quit. And it was very much centered around mental health and the way he's feeling.
I feel like sometimes people need to self-reflect and take a step back from the broad perspective of what their life has been. I believe that there is more to this world that is much greater than myself. The energy and passion to want to do more and create is within me.
I mean, straight off the bat, you're probably thinking, has this guy went to like ayahuasca, or has he had his first edible and now he's like, whoa, bloody hell, what? This is actually really beautiful, this world. What? Why have I never recognized how green trees are? But you can clearly see he's kind of off the path of that relentless kind of working. And I definitely think, obviously, having a lot of money helps you realize that, oh, I can probably just chill now. Especially if your entire life is centered around monetary goals and statistics, which, by the way, I do think is a bit of an empty way to live. And, you know, Kai might have found that that thing doesn't actually fulfill him. Like, having all this money, having all, you know, these accolades, yes, they're amazing and they allowed you to do whatever you want, but how you feel in that heart, that's what really matters. You often hear, like, loads of really rich people saying that they're actually sad, and other people are like, how the f can you be sad? You've got loads of money. But I wonder if it's because when you get millions of pounds, it doesn't actually, like, fulfill you in your heart. You might not actually feel fulfilled and have purpose as a person. And I know we're getting deep here, but I do feel like if you don't have a purpose, or you don't feel like you've got a purpose on this world, that's where a lot of sadness comes from. Or at least for me. Like, I'm probably just speaking from my perspective here. And straight away, I can tell that this is what he's trying to figure out.
I quit thinking in my head of the goals I want to achieve and not pursuing them because I'm primarily known for one thing and super scared to step out that box and try new things.
One thing I do kind of want to talk about is why is he not facing us? Like, is this one of these videos where everything is there for a reason? Like, even the bird on the floor, like, does that connote something? You know, he's leaving in the past behind him. I don't know why it's so artsy and scenic. Clearly, this is just his creative, you know, vision. I do think it is a little bit pretentious. But I do like that he is opening up. But again, you're not going to receive much sympathy, unfortunately, when you are a multi-millionaire and you have all of this money, because people just want you to do the thing that they enjoy from you.
I quit overthinking. I quit staying in my head about if the goals I pursue are going to work or not. I want to push limits to see how much I truly can create in life.
So, is he talking to the mountain here? I'm so confused why he's not just talking to the camera. Now, a lot of this documentary is Kai promoting his clothing brand, which we are going to talk about later on. I think this is his new vision and the thing that he really wants to focus on, kind of, you know, following the same weird trajectory that Kanye West did, even though Kanye West kind of slagged him off. Going from music to, obviously, making clothes. Kai's going from streaming to clothing. Now, Kai would actually announce in this video that he's been posting to a secret channel this entire time, again, just being really mysterious and cryptic, because this must just be what fulfills him right now. Kind of being that friend that airs the group chat every couple of months and then just appears when yous are all out. That friend is me. But as you can see here, like, there's no thumbnails. He's very much kind of filming this on what I believe is like a really low quality webcam. He's basically doing this on purpose, just to kind of just strip everything back and be his real authentic self. And a lot of people have actually hated on this rather than kind of championing it. And I do understand it. A lot of people are saying that it's performative camera quality, saying he's doing this to show that he has no money. But honestly, I don't know. Like, I'm not a fan of Kai Cenat, and I'm not like a hater of Kai Cenat. I really don't kind of have any opinion on it, which is why I think I can look at this objectively. I just look at it from the point of view that he's trying to just be more open and honest, and he kind of wants his personality to just kind of shine through now, rather than, you know, doing the big stunts and being this really performative character. But again, I can understand from the audience perspective being like, well, this is not what we want from you. I've supported you for years and now you're shoving it in my face, Kai Cenat. I also love that one of the thumbnails is Atomic Habits by James Clear. I also have that book right here. Do I need to prove it? I feel like I do.
Oh! Stand up!
Sorry guys, just my YouTube plug falling down there. Sorry. Yeah, I've got this book as well, right? I know exactly what's in that book. I know what kind of mind frame this guy is in right now. This guy is in some sort of weird kind of mental headspace trying to find himself. I can see it! Now, I was intrigued to see what the actual reaction to Kai announcing this was. Like, you know, him kind of talking deep for, I guess, one of the first times, really. And it was actually really, really negative, especially from his audience. A lot of his audience just weren't feeling this. Like, motherfuckers cut their dreads and become philosophers. They're frying you on TikTok, bro. He took y'all's money and dip. Bro quit the only job that paid him to sleep in front of a camera. This is deep. I'm gonna need those $5 back, though. To be fair, yeah, imagine you paid $5 to Kai Cenat and now he's quit. And I also don't think that Kai kind of recognized this when he was making this video, that obviously he's coming from a huge place of privilege now, whereas when he first started, obviously he wasn't. He was really trying to scrap to get, you know, to be successful, and he was probably afforded a lot more kind of leeway that way. But now that he has all of the money, people aren't going to be like, yeah mate, we support you, which is a little bit sad, I guess, from his perspective, but it's understandable from the audience's perspective. Although I do feel like with our community, if I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take a little break, even though I have no idea this is much success and, you know, money is Kai Cenat. But I feel like if I was like, you know, I'm going to take a break for a couple of months, donuts, I feel like, and I don't know, but I feel like you guys would be like, yeah, that's fine, mate. you take all the time you need, you know? Like, I feel like it depends on the audience you have. And clearly Kai Cenat has, you know, a bit of a proportion of his audience that is very, very toxic and don't really see mental health as a thing. But at this point, it definitely seems like Kai is done, you know, making content his main thing. One of the only things I seen from him during this time, apart from that video and the, you know, his secret channel, was him appearing at the Streamer Awards, where he done a speech talking about what he wants to do in the future.
I hope a lot of creators in here and everybody at home and the viewers and the streamers really take care of your mental health. I just noticed that recently I just been going through things in my head, and I was able to, you know, turn to like anime, Death Note, Naruto, recently since I've been gone, and I just been able to, you know, find happiness within that. But yeah, as for the word of collab, I want to preach to everybody, like,
just from like a human point of view, taking away that he has this money and this success, when I'm listening to him there, he seems very authentic, talking about that he's going through it mentally at the moment, and seeing all of this hate going his way, it does make me feel a little bad for him. Even though he has all of this money and all of this privilege, I understand that, and I'm not taking that away. Like, it's better to cry in, I imagine, really expensive sheets or cry in a Ferrari than it is, you know, without a car. I'm not taking that away, but what I am saying is, just because he has a lot of money doesn't mean that he doesn't go through mental health issues. And I definitely think a lot of the people that are sending hate his way for quitting are forgetting that. A lot of people won't see him as a person anymore. They will just see him as this figure that is on the internet. But like I've said many times on this channel, guys, he has one arsehole and two eyes like the rest of us. He the same way and he feels the same way. Now, moving on, before we get to the insane conspiracy theories that people are making about Kai Cenat and what is actually going on here, there was another thing that was happening in the background when Kai Cenat was quitting from streaming, and that was the breakup of his relationship. Now, Kai was going out with a girl called Gabrielle, and they had a very public relationship. I believe she was often in some of his streams, and everybody thought that them two obviously were in a very strong relationship until Kai Cenat actually tweeted this during his hiatus. I'm single. I will never be in another relationship again. Me on BBM back in the day. No replies. All right. Right. No replies. I'm putting this publicly, but I don't want anyone to say anything about it. No. Obviously kind of wanting a little bit of, you know, recognition or attention there. But what I definitely took from that was that he's kind of had his heart broken, you know, like he's never going to be in another relationship again. That kind of says that you're very scarred from this, like someone did something to you, you know, your partner. But again, I wouldn't really air this in public or try and find out the reason for it, because I'm not like, you know, an absolute maniac. However, a lot of Kai Cenat's audience actually took it upon themselves to try and find the reason and make accusations. And they started huge rumours that Kai Cenat's partner, Gabrielle, had actually cheated on him with like a rapper called NBA Youngboy. But there was no evidence for this. Like, people just made these accusations based on pretty baseless things. And this meant that Kai's ex actually had to make a statement about this because of how toxic his audience was being towards her. I left. Now you want to get on the internet and rush to paint a false narrative about me off a fake Twitter post is insane. I've never cheated on him, and you know that. I have never dealt with that man. Play that sympathetic role somewhere else, please. Am I invested? No, I'm not really. I don't really know much about her, if I'm being honest, or Kai, to be fair, to be invested in their relationship. I'm not at the parasocial level here. Now, as you do when you're in a public relationship and you need to talk about your relationship when you finish the relationship, Gabrielle made an 1.5 hour video talking about her relationship with Kai. Now, I did watch this, and going into it, I was thinking that she's just going to expose him for stuff, but she didn't really say anything too negative about him. She was very honest, she was very level-headed, and I actually really respected the video from her. It was very long, but she was just kind of getting her thoughts out there and making sure that everybody knew what the page was, and the accusations were all basically put to rest. Now, this was actually posted 3 weeks ago, and still up until this point, Kai Cenat has not said anything about this relationship, and this again brought him a lot of hate because people were basically saying that he's allowing, you know, his ex to receive a lot of the hate, and he's not saying anything, and you could argue he instigated it. However, 2 days ago, he actually put this statement out on his Instagram. I just want to say this from my heart. It can be confusing to see news about me and the people around me that isn't true. I've been sharing my life online for a long time now, and know that once you share aspects of your life with the world, it can be hard to keep things private. There has been rumours, speculations, and comments made about my previous relationship and my friends. I want to apologise for not addressing things sooner, but I needed to take a step back from social media and process everything. People react to things in different ways. It is an emotional time and should be handled privately. If there's ever something important, something real for me to address or say, you will hear it directly from me. You always hear it from me. Don't let all the noise distract from that. This applies to everything in my life, my relationships, businesses, streams, everything. I wish the best to Gabrielle and ask to please respect both sides. Now again, this seems to me like a fair statement, but people really weren't having it. A lot of people were just, you know, bashing Kai, saying that he should have protected his ex. His ex was getting a lot of hate and he did nothing for it. Whereas some people are kind of calling his audience out and being like, the way that you switch up is weird. And I do think if this happened like a year ago or 2 years ago, the reaction to this would be a lot different, possibly. I just think because he's created such a parasocial relationship with his audience, they have just become too toxic and they feel like they need to know everything about his life and kind of ruin everybody that is in his life's, like, you know, online presence. It must be very, very intense to be like this. And like I've mentioned a couple of times in this video, his audience haven't stopped there. They aren't happy that Kai Cenat is now like single and doing a new thing. They have to make conspiracy theories about why he's doing this and that he's not actually doing it because he wants to do it or because he's going through mental health issues. They're saying he's doing it because he's being forced.
Oh, and by the way, they took Kai Cenat. Kai Cenat, however you say it, he's no longer here. That's Diddy.
Sorry, some lad wearing his vest in his bedroom knows what happened to Kai Cenat. They took him. Who's they? Seriously, who is they? Oh, they took Kai Cenat. What, because he screamed in front of a camera? Oh, you're joking. Who's they, by the way? Just they. Is that their name? Well, you know, curse the mum and dad for that one. It's not very nice of them to call a child that. This is one thing that does get on my tits a little bit, is when everything is a conspiracy. Like, sometimes someone can just go through mental health issues and that's fine. They haven't sacrificed themselves. Their brain hasn't been transfused with someone else's brain and they're not actually controlling themselves anymore. They're just feeling like shit. They're a person. And again, this is a constant theme I've seen with Kai Cenat, that people don't treat him like a person and don't, like, kind of recognize that he can actually go through some stuff as well. I know I keep saying it, but I'm not even a fan of Kai Cenat. Just looking at this objectively, I feel like this is how it all plays out, and it's just so simple to see.
Yeah, I think Kai officially completed a ritual, y'all. Look at the...
What ritual? What, that he cut his hair? That he decided to start a clothing brand? That's a pretty ritual. Right, today, class, we're gonna do a human sacrifice just so we can start a clothing brand. I'd be like, no, actually, it's pretty intense. Can I not just make an Instagram account or something? Don't really want to sacrifice the lives of 100 children. It's even funny to see people making conspiracy theories of videos of Kai just like reading his journal, which apparently is to do with his clothing brand that he's launching. Like you can see here, he's just like obviously doing this to promote. It's a marketing thing, you know, like he's showing people inside of the book, just trying to promote his brand. And people are just being so harsh to him. Like saying performative new final boss. How is this performative? That he's promoting his clothing brand in a bit of a different way? Bro thinks he's Virgil. I'm crying. I think that's Virgil Abloh, the guy that made Off-White. What, so nobody else can make a clothing brand because Virgil Abloh had one? Like, what are we? I'm so confused here. Maybe I am the idiot and I am willing to be proven wrong here, but I feel like people are just not being supportive because they just want to hate. I'm really intrigued to see what you think, Donuts. Like, again, I have no real opinion on this, but I do feel like he's clearly going through a little bit of a mental health crisis here, and he's not really getting any leeway from his audience. So let me know what you think about this entire situation. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video. I know Kai Cenat is definitely like a different topic for us. Like, he's not really in our kind of niche, but I did find this whole situation very interesting, and I just want to do videos on topics that I do find interesting, Donuts. So if you have enjoyed this one, please do drop a like, and if you want a video that is exactly like this one, we have recently done a video on Michaela Noguera, who is the most hated influencer on the internet. We talk about her rise and fall and how she's just uploaded a video which has got everybody talking. I'll see you over there. Bye bye.
Camkirkham, baby.